Welcome back to the Vintage Telephones channel. Today we have a Stromberg Carlson model 1443A from about 1950. The 1443 1400 series, of course, were introduced directly after the 1243. And so you can kind of tell that it still has the old type of handset as found on the 1243. It is the 24 type handset. And of course, the dial's still metal with the finger wheel. It still has a C-type dial, Stromberg Carlson C-type dial with the alpha numeric bezel. So this was the first phone to have thermoplastic housing and a dial bezel. And that's when they stopped doing the metal housings. The handset, of course, is still bakelite. It's in very good shape. And the funny thing is about the 1443 is that I thought that the 1543 came right after the 1243, but apparently not. So the 1443 was manufactured for about 4 years until they modernized it further. Really, the only difference between this phone and the 1543 is that modernized handset, of course. And of course, some still had metal dials and they were switched later to the plastic finger wheel. And later switched to the D-type dials, which were a more modern type than this one. Really the same, but they made it a little modernized. And of course, the wiring diagram, it's a potted type network. Really, that's the only other thing that was modernized. Now this phone I got earlier in 2025, probably around, I like to say September or October. It was originally equipped with a frequency ringer, and I switched it to a straight line ringer, but kept the original bells on it, of course. And we got the cords. It's got, now you can kind of tell the difference here. So I replaced the handset cord because the original one was damaged. I originally thought it wasn't damaged. No rips, of course, when it originally had the handset cord, but as soon as I tested it, there was no transmitter or receive or anything like that. So I found, of course, I ran my fingers with the wires in the old handset cord like this, and I found like a bump somewhere like here, for example, and I felt one of the wires on the inside split. It was like that in two separate areas in the handset cord. So unfortunately, I had to trash it, and I had to replace it with a new reproduction handset cord. So I'll show you around this phone. So it's kind of their answer of the Western Electric 500, and this was their licensed design before they produced the licensed Model 500 type. So still's got the cut corners here, like the 1243. Modernized type dial with the bezel on the outside instead of with the numbers on the inside. They, of course, were inspired by the Western Electric type dials. Dial spins nicely and there's no damage in the paint. And it still has its original dial cover. Now I did make the dial card there because it was missing. Here's the handset. In good shape. Bakelite is a little, you can kind of see it's not very shiny as it would have been, but I did the best I could with polishing it. And one thing with these housings I forgot also to mention is that the carry handle is this little skinny bar, and these were phased out quickly because these were known to break. And if you look for listings of these on eBay, you'll notice that this is broken off. So these tend to break, and they switched it to the fuller type handle that went all the way here instead of just that little flimsy handle. There's the plungers. It's in a nice classic black. They also had various colors as well. I'm not sure. I know that at least for the 1543s they had the colors, but I don't think they had the 1443s in the color. I could be wrong. Here's the Stromberg Carlson logo here. I did my best to clean this out, but of course, this is sitting on the shelf waiting to be worked on. But So they're Stromberg Carlson. And the later handsets, of course, had their name on the inside, like the G-type handsets from Western Electric. And I'll show you the bottom of the phone as well. There's no damage on the housings, thank goodness. So the only markings we have, at least from the Stromberg Carlson factory, is the 1443A. And we also have some writing here, not sure what it is. Someone's name, Vance Underwood. Not sure if that belonged to the last person who had this phone or it was someone who worked in a refurbishing shop. But they looks like they took a, I don't think it's a pencil or an engraver tool. And you also got some other writing here. And one thing about these 1443s is that they have these adjusters for the ringer. Because I put in a straight line ringer on this phone, there's really, when I tested the phone with this switch here, there really wasn't any difference in the strength of the ringer. So I guess it was made just specifically for the frequency ringers. So yeah, so 1443 from about 1950, manufactured for about 4 years until they introduced the 1543. This one's from about 1950, good shape, and it was the first telephone to be in the thermoplastic. So what I will do next, I will get the machine out, and we will demonstrate the phone. So we will be right back. And now I will pick up the handset and we will get dial tone. Okay, see the change in the light, that means the transmitter is working. Hello, hello. A couple pulses. Alright, and now I will dial some numbers. Alright, and last but not least, the ringer. Oops. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this video. Next we will have the pictures of all of the components on the inside of the base and of course the handset. So I hope you enjoyed. Thank you very much for watching and I will see you next time.